Hello everyone. Well, we have made it to the last set of training modules in our citizen science for discovering native forest inside our plantation areas. We've done the online training. We've looked at how to identify native forest online, how to use historical imagery and logging maps. We've learned how to draw polygons. We've learned how to use rectified imagery, and we've begun the process of ground truthing. Let's just recap before we go out and start using our apps in the field. Let's now recap on equipment. Come over here. On the table, you can see the basic kit. Secured to the top of my helmet, we have my geo positioner, a Garmin Glow 2. This helps me work offline, but still connects my iPad to, I believe, 24 satellites in geosynchronous orbit, and it should give us accuracy to around 3 meters. I have my iPad, which I recommend you use for the apps. And of course, I have my phone for safety purposes and for whatever reason if I need to hotspot. I don't need to when I'm using the apps because they work offline. We're going to look at 4 aspects of using the apps. First of all, we're going to look at Avenza. And we're going to use Avenza for basic orientation, and we're going to use Avenza for getting inside our polygons. Those are the 2 basic things we do in Avenza, and we're going to look at merging. In merging, we also do 2 things. 1, we get ourselves oriented, and 2, we walk through the images on merging through historical time to look at how the land has changed and what was and what is on the ground when we are inside our polygons. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, I'm now going to orient you to the use of Avenza in the field. You've already had a basic introduction, but here we go again. This is the Avenza icon that you will have on your app. Once you've installed it, if like me you have a lot of projects and a lot of maps, you will have them already ready for you. But you may need to go to new areas for which you do not have maps. In that case, you go to Store and you look for the free maps, and you simply enter the name of the locality that you're looking for, and you'll see if Avenza has it. 9 times out of 10 it does, and it's free. Once you have downloaded the map that you need, it comes up and then it helps you orient yourself. So we are in the Bellingen locality. We're going to visit Tucker's Knob, which is on the Bellingen map. So I use the Get Lost map 9437-2S, Bellingen, New South Wales, topographic map, version 15, 1 to 25,000. And here it is. I'll turn it the other way. The nice thing about Avenza and merging is that you always have a dot that enables you to know where you are. Already uploaded on my layers, I have pre-installed my polygons. If I want to download polygons, I press the download button and it will tell me where to get my polygons from. In this case, I've taken the polygons from Dropbox, and I recommend that you all use Dropbox. I've also set up exactly what it is I want to see. My polygons, a particular polygon for a boundary adjustment, and a whole set of updated files that have everything I need. We're going to focus not on Tucker's Knob 9, where I've already been and have logged all the data, and this will look very similar in merging, but we're going to go and inspect a brand new area of native forest inside the plantations that I have already identified. The good thing about Avenza is that it basically works as an online map. So instead of pulling out your sheet when it's raining and it gets wet and damp and tears, you have it conveniently located on your iPad. So in this course, we use Avenza as a map for basic orientation. It does not have the features that we need as citizen scientists when it comes to looking at historical imagery, and we use instead merging, which is the source of another set of instructions. But at this point, we will now use Avenza for orienting ourselves to this particular sample area of original native forest inside the Tucker's Knob plantation that, if we as citizen scientists don't get active about, will simply be logged and sold as if it was just plantation. We know it's not, and so now we're off to inspect. All right, so we're about to head out. We've done the safety brief. We've checked that we've got all our equipment functioning and we're ready to go. But just before we do, I want to give you a basic overview of where we're going. So as I said, we've got all the information we need. We've got the compartment boundaries as shape files in green. We've got the compartments themselves in semi-transparent brown. And we have the two particular polygons that we want to visit today highlighted. I've turned the others off, and then here with the blue dot is where we are. And we're now going to walk down this unnamed trail to go specifically to this polygon of remnant native forest. Come on. Okay, so we're nearly there, but we've reached a fork in the road. Which way do I go? Well, the nice thing with both Avenza and merging is that they help you orient yourself. If we again look on merging, you can see where we are. Here's the polygon. This is the way we came, and then we simply follow the trail and we follow the direction of the arrow, and this is the way we want to go. And in case you're a bit worried, you can already see that we've started moving down this trail, and we'll get to our polygon very soon. Well, the camera person and I are slightly out of breath, or should we say invigorated. And what I'm going to do now is move into merging. Because effectively, as I indicated, Avenza is really a topographic map that allows you to navigate where you're going. You can use it inside the polygons to basically work out where you are, but we're now going into the specific aspects of our online training and where we have already identified polygons and we've imported historical imagery to help us actually look and ground truth inside the polygon as to what's there. So we're now going to move to the merging app. And as citizen scientists, you should all register and you'll be given a project to work on. This is a blank screen, but eventually you will have all the different projects listed here that you are active on. That's after you've logged in. You'll get the thinking wheel and it will take you to your different projects. And we are in Tucker's Knob. What you're looking at here is historical aerial photography, which has been rectified, meaning it's been snapped to ground as if the image has been made to lay over the actual contours of the ground. That's thanks to the wonderful technical support that we have had for this project. This particular image is under map themes, and we're looking at the polygon as it existed in 1964. This is the ultimate ground zero for Tucker's Knob. This is what the area looked like before forestry happened. The different coloured polygons that you can see here are all those areas that we have mapped over time that have remnant native forest within them. And over to the eastern side of Tucker's Knob, we have already gone into each of these polygons. We have added a record, we've taken a photograph, we've made notes, and we will go back and check those areas once they have been logged, if we have been unable to save them. And that is another aspect of this training, is what to do once an area is cut, because we can't save all, but we must try. And that is what we're doing now. So let's go back to that polygon that you saw on Avenza. And we know where it is, because similarly in merging, we have a little orienting dot. Unlike Avenza on merging here, I haven't bothered with the plantation boundaries. I haven't bothered with the compartments. I've just focused on the polygons, because the only thing that now matters to us is what is inside that polygon. We've already done that work online, and you've already learned how to do that. So let's just look at this polygon over time. I'm now going to 1974. Here we can see there is still native forest, but there's been a slight incursion up here. You can see it's less dark, it's more uniform, it's like the rest of the plantation, but basically this polygon is still intact. In 1984, 10 years later, so we're now 20 years from that original image, you can see that basically it has remained the same. And ditto in 1994. So now we're going to go inside that polygon and start recording the evidence of the existence of native forest. Here's your first sign that we're at the edge of that polygon. But if you had any doubt, this is the 94 imagery. And again, you can see the difference between the plantation here and the forest here. And if you turn over in that direction, you'll see that you've got younger, much more even stems. But if we come back this way and go back to 1964, we're standing underneath the canopy of an original tree. Clearly, this is not a plantation. And it doesn't matter whether it's defined in law as plantation or bureaucratically mumbo-jumboed in some kind of a way. This is a sure sign that you are inside an area of native forest. For a start, look at the girth and look at the canopy. So before we go in, we'll start the process of identifying the remnants. You've seen this piece of kit before. I was a bit naughty in the previous introduction. I didn't reintroduce one of the most important pieces of kit. This is a tape measure, and it's a logger's tape measure. So it's designed in a specific way so that you can put it into the bark and you can then take the whole diameter of the tree. Unlock it, unwind it, and basically off we go. Now, because this is a live tree, we measure what is called the DBH, which is the diameter at breast height. I've been a bit rough and ready here. I've got it upside down, but you can see that this tree has actually, to be technical, a circumference, because it hasn't been cut down, a circumference at breast height of 3 meters 30 centimeters. So now we know that we're at 3 meters 30 centimeters, we now enter that data into merging. The first thing we do is take a photograph. So first of all, to take a photograph, we go record. Then we will have add point or new polygons, or some other form of instruction. Here we have new polygons, Tucker's site, Tucker's polygons. I went to Tucker's sites because this is a site, And now I take a photo. And here is that photo with the convenient little tape measure there as a sizing device. We've already remembered that it's 3 meters, 30 centimeters circumference at breast height. Down at the bottom, we have use photo. Just there we go. Now it's in there. Now we begin the process of entering the data that we need. So first of all, it's very important to put the date. Just excuse me while I muck about. There's the date. I've entered the date. Here's the site. This is a tree, but it's also a remnant. It's not a stump and we're not in a clearing. We're in a remnant. So for argument's sake, I'm going to put remnant here. I'm going to put the species. I'm going to make a call. I'm going to say that that's a grey gum. Eucalyptus propinqua. And here it is on our list of species, so grey gum. The notes, I'm going to put in 3300, 3 meters, 30 centimeters, or 3,300 millimeters. And because it is a circumference at breast height measurement, I now put in circumference C at breast B height. I could put in a description now, but I don't need to. Now I do done, and then I press at the top here, save. And lo and behold, there's a little red dot that's telling us where we are, just on the very edge of our remnant. So one of the really important things about doing this citizen science work is that we're not fighting about the age of a tree. We are fighting for the protection of forest ecosystems that have continued to survive inside plantations. And this is the evidence. This is a child of the grandmother tree that we just saw. It is an offspring of that old growth. It's probably not much older than the plantation on the other side of the trail. But this is native. Number one, Eucalyptus propinqua or grey gum. It's come from its grandmother tree. And critically and importantly, look at the scratches. This is a koala tree. The large scratches are possibly goanna. And you'll hear forestry say all the time, oh, it's just a goanna. But if you come up here, around to here, you'll see 1, 2, 3 scratches. That is a classic indicator of a koala. And if you find 1 or 2 scratches behind it, that is a koala hand. So this is possibly a margin call, but you can clearly see that it's habitat. And some of these little spots here are also from feeding by sap-sucking animals, such as a glider. Let's go further in. here is a bloodwood, again not a plantation species. And growing next to it, a rainforest understory. And over here, a bungalow, a palm that again is an indicator of native forest, moist forest in transition to rainforest. So a really lovely bloodwood. Let's just walk over here. Another bloodwood. And then just on the edge, delineating the polygon, is a really nice original tallow wood. And next to it, Glochidium ferdinandi, a cheese tree, and we can see we're leaving the polygon because there's our key disturbance indicator, the lantana. Here's a brush box. If you pan up to the canopy, you can see how it goes smooth. It's a sort of dark red brown. And Eucalyptus sideroxylon just to the right there, which is, of course, the ironbark. None of these are plantation species, and that's because this area is not a plantation, whether forestry calls it one or not.